What's going on? It's the kid Exile. I'm pulling up with my girl TampaMystic. We're up here at Industry's Most Wanted. Come check us out.
Yeah, I showed up when you wasn't there. Came through when it wasn't clear. Took L's all by myself. I gave my word and I made it clear. Like, what the fuck were you thinking, though? Like, you hated me. But you ain't mean it, though. Cause you sitting around with a friendly smile. See this middle finger, you can eat it. Yo, I'm going off on the fake motherfuckers that be coming around and shut it down.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live on the Industry's Most Wanted podcast. Boom. Listen, we got my hometown homie in the building. Tampa checking in. Exile, what's going on with you, family?
Not too much. Just took the whole drive down here. Or up here.
Yeah.
My bad. Got my everything everywhere. But yeah, just took the drive up here. Luckily this time, we didn't get pulled over this time. That's a fucking lesson. Oh my God. But you see so many people just driving up here. You see so many people just getting pulled over. They come out at like bullets. They're just fucking everywhere.
100%. Especially when you get in South Georgia.
It's crazy.
South Georgia, they the racist po out there, and they just be ready to mess up somebody's day. So, you know, when you head through South Georgia, slow it down a little bit. I promise you're going to thank me later. Thank you for being here. Give me some love, man. Boom.
Of course.
Appreciate it. So go ahead and, dive into it. Give us that like official introduction.
Official introduction. Well, I go by Exile. Originally, I come from Massachusetts. I was staying up there for a little bit. But right now, I'm staying out in Tampa, of course. And right now I'm just doing my thing with this music stuff, man. Really just trying to make a name out here with everything. And I appreciate you so much for being so welcoming. When I first hit you up about just like interviews, stuff that you were doing, it wasn't on any like weird energy on stuff like this is what it costs, this is what you do. You were just like, hey, like this is what we do up here. If you want to come up here and do this, like very welcoming. Made it so much more of a transition to be like, oh, okay, I want to know what she's doing up there and what she's got going on around. So it really, really meant a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate that. One thing that I really work on doing is projecting the type of energy that I want to receive back.
Absolutely.
Because people wonder why people treat them crappy. Well, maybe, you got to figure out, take accountability that you're putting crappy energy into the universe. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So how long you been in Tampa?
I've been back and forth for so many years. It's been I first moved down here, down in Tampa at like 11.
Okay.
And then from there on, I've been back and forth from Massachusetts and Tampa, just back and forth, going between there, which has made it fun to meet a lot of different people.
Of course.
But, when you got to change schools and stuff like that,
that's tough.
It's like
making new friends.
Yeah, But, it was one of those things that I always kind of fit in wherever I went though, because like it's easy to make friends with people if you're just cool with people.
Absolutely.
You ain't gotta try too hard when you're just yourself. So I never found that hard, but just coming up in different music groups and stuff like that, you hear a bunch of different music. There's a lot of different styles of music in different East Coast, the South. There's a lot of different styles, but everybody's working for the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. So taking it back, let's go back to your childhood.
Yes, ma'am.
Before you started, doing music on the level what you're doing it now, were you into anything different? Like, did you have a passion for something else?
Oh, man. I was one of those kids that I just felt like no matter what it was, I felt like I could take it to the fullest limit I could take it. I don't know. When I was real little, my grandfather used to do. He used to always tell me that he did boxing when he was my age. He was like, I was a boxer, and I was like, oh man, that's cool. So I grew up and I was like, that's what I want to do. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like start doing some training and stuff like that. I found out that dude boxed tomatoes. He was lying to me the whole time. He always wanted to tell me that.
That is hilarious.
Oh man, that man made me laugh. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do for a little bit. I did like all the training and stuff for that. I love shit. I love that stuff.
Absolutely.
But yeah, then got bit by the music bug.
Yeah.
Just started going into that, but like started to watching all the movies that come up in there, like Hustle and Flow came on. It's like you just see all that.
It's hard out here for a pimp when we trying to get his money for the rent.
Yeah, man, that shit just like it's one of those things. You just watch that movie at 3 a.m. You just start angsty. You're just like, I just want to do it. Like that's what I wanted to do.
Absolutely, I like movies like that show like the real deal struggle of what people go through, because you can't skip the struggle.
No.
you have to go right smack dab through the middle of it
For sure.
to appreciate all the accomplishments that you see after the struggle.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. So about what age was it that you started really like pursuing music?
Ooh. Well, I mean, I feel like everybody says it, but you know, I like at 8, I was starting to write stuff. That's when I first saw. I think first movie I watched was Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah.
When he started doing that stuff, and you know,
Shout
big
out to 50 for sure.
Yeah, big inspiration for that, and you know, obviously 8 Mile, watching stuff like that, where it's like, it's just you seeing like people do it, and you're like, okay, like I see how people can translate different things into it, and you're like, that's just what I wanted to do. So, I writing always, but like I never really thought I would be one to really pick it up, because at that time it just seemed so fictitious in the sense of like what was possible and what was around me. So it was kind of just one of those things where it was like, I like doing this, I'm gonna just do it for me, and like hopefully at some point I'll turn it into something. Yeah. And then I started recording and actually started trying to do it when I want to say I was like 16. Okay. 16, I started, I got my first laptop from pawn shop.
Yeah. And then, shout out to the pawn shops. You can find some good licks there.
I swear.
Yeah.
I swear. People sleep on that stuff.
They do.
Even now, sometimes I'm like, all right, let me buy it new. But like other times back then, I was like, man, we just gotta get it.
Absolutely, get it. Especially when it comes to, you know, like recording equipment, like, because people fall upon hard times. So what do? They pawn their good equipment, and then someone like you or yourself.
Well, that's like what my mom used to do. She used to just take her ring up there, or something like that, pawn it, get it back, just pay some shit, and then get it back when she can. But so like buying it was different. Like it's like, okay, cool, I can spend $170, and after that, bought the laptop and stuff like that, and my grandfather, he had sent me an audio box.
The same one that was telling you he was a boxer?
Yeah, no, different one.
Okay.
Different one. No, not the same one. But
that's funny.
Yeah, my other grandfather used to always play the guitar.
Oh,
so he kind of knew like what it took to like record and stuff like that. So I didn't even know you need an audio box. I just thought you just hooked this thing up to something and it went and started recording something. But no, it was a learning experience from that day forward, because I was like, oh man, I didn't even know that took that much. Like, they don't show that in the fucking movies you watch.
For real.
And I'm like, this is what this costs, and this is what you're gonna have to do it. And it's like, okay, well, I didn't know that. Now you got fucking egg panel things on the wall. Yeah. You're like, I got socks wrapped around the fucking wire.
Yeah,
it's
all
like,
that.
Man, it's like, what? I didn't know how much this took, but it take a lot.
It does.
Definitely does.
But it also, I think, because you learn all that and you have to go through so much, you appreciate it more.
Oh, for sure.
Because you put so much time, money, effort, work, grind, all of that. You appreciate it more.
Absolutely.
You definitely appreciate it more. So taking it back to when you first started recording. So were you recording at the house?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the first song that you recorded that actually made it out to the digital platforms?
Ooh. Oh man, I grew up with like a teenage angst at one point, so it was very. My first song ever put out on YouTube, whatever, was called Diss Track, and it was like I just felt so like it was just one of those things where it's just like you come up and like watching like people like. I always found it so cool, like seeing artists like get like battle each other, and I'm like, oh man, that was a great bar. That's a great bar. Like, oh, that one was good. Like,
kind of like 8 Mile.
Yeah. But like even like on like the level of like, you know, you got like the Ja Rule and 50 Cent beat.
Right.
Wow, like they just went bar for bar, you know, like 50 killed it, but like, you know,
he did.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Shout out to 50 again.
But it's like one of those things where it's like I just saw that and I was like, oh man, that's so cool. That's like, it was one of those things that I didn't really try to emulate, but it was one of those things that I felt like I should have like a chip on my shoulder going into it, because all the people that I like idolized had a chip on their shoulder. I'm like, who am I pissed at? Yeah. Making a diss track about nothing. Like at that time, I'm 16. What the fuck am I pissed at?
Yeah, who done pissing you off? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's it. Yeah. I got me talking. I was talking to my boy the other day. I was like, man, I literally, back when I first started recording, I was talking about all the people that I had no haters, no nothing, and I was talking about all the haters that hated on me and all that stuff. I'm like, nobody even know that I record yet. Who
That
the fuck
is
hating?
so funny. I love it. Exactly.
Crazy.
In your mind at that time.
In the mind, you're just like, man, come on. Like, we just got to get after it. I'm like, who we hating right
Yeah.
now? Like, who am I upset with? It's crazy.
That is so hilarious.
So funny.
Break down your name. What does your
Exile.
name mean? Yes.
Exile, it started from, I had a lot of different names before this, but it was one of those things that it stuck with me at the time because, like exile, to be like exiled, like to be like set apart, to be sent away from.
Yeah.
And I kind of just at that age, I just kind of like, I always felt like no matter where I was at, it was never going to stay the same.
Yeah.
I was going to be somewhere else at some point. And I just got to the point that I was set myself apart from people. I didn't want to meet anybody. I didn't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't going to last. So why? Like, at some point, it was just like one of those things. So I just always kind of felt like separated from people, whether it was intentionally by myself or just by just not fitting in different circumstances. So I just kind of went with it, that it was kind of being exiled. So I was like, even coming up, I had this tag EBX that was like, everybody's been exiled, and I didn't really rock with it for too much, just for like other reasons and stuff like that. But just it's kind of always been a thing. That's where I try and draw my music from. Is like kind of bringing the people that don't fit in together.
Yes. I love it. And that's the whole goal, is to stand out. We ain't trying to fit in.
Absolutely.
We want to stand out because that makes you more unique. And people will notice you and recognize you more. Like, if you sound and look like everybody else, then you just blend in. You get lost in the sauce, per se. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Would you say being in Tampa had an influence on you for wanting to do music?
Absolutely. When I first came down to Tampa, it was a very welcoming. The people that I was around, there was a couple people that recorded. I had this kid that I used to hang out with that he really got me into it, and we would sit there and we would make songs. Like when I first got the setup and everything like that, he would sit there and like tell me like, he told me like when I started recording, I was really just trying to do it, and he was like, man, you got to make 5 songs a day. Like you got to do like 5 songs, whether you like it or not, make 5 songs a day. And I was like, 5 songs? I was stressing my ass off trying to get this one song done.
Right.
Like, I'm like picking apart what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
he's
like,
talking about 5.
Yeah. He was like, you got to do 5 songs. And he was one of those people that just like, it was my first early collaboration with somebody else coming with me to try and like, who A, believed in what I was doing, B, was like, like you can actually do this if you really go into it.
Yeah.
And he was one of those dudes that just really, really stuck with me and was like, like he don't make music no more. And it's like one of those things where it's like almost like, now I gotta do this for you too. Cause like, whether you didn't want to do it as much as you thought you did, but like it kind of felt like one of those things where it's like, like you were there for me when I needed it. So like that's what I'm gonna keep going with.
That's so dope. And we all need somebody like that.
Absolutely.
To keep us motivated,
Absolutely.
to show us the ropes, to show us the way, because this business is not easy.
No, it's definitely, it's not incline. Like it's not just you do something and then it keeps going that way.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like, you got to fight for what you really want out of it. You got to fight for that. And that comes with the lows, the highs, everything that comes with it. And a lot of people don't stick around for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So dive in a little bit, get deep with us if you can. Like, what has been the biggest like struggle that you've had to overcome, or biggest adversity within this music business since you've been in it?
Ooh, okay. Adversity wise, I wouldn't even say that I've dealt with much adversity with it. I think the people that I try and keep in my immediate circle, and the people that I let get into that space where like it feels like it affects me, wouldn't even come with any energy like that. I try and keep that energy on the outside. So like, of course you're gonna run into people that like, like, oh, the white boy, of course he raps. Oh, he has tattoos, of course he raps.
Yeah.
What else?
Stereotype.
You got blonde hair, of course you rap.
Yeah,
it's like, I didn't know.
He think he Eminem or whatever.
Like I didn't know I was playing the part that much. Like I was just trying to I just happened to like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
that's so funny.
So like it was one of those things where I was like, man, but I never really I feel like you can find it wherever you want to find it, but at the end of the day, like I'm not looking for it, so like you can keep that energy over there.
Nah, for real.
So
absolutely, I agree, and that's the thing too. It's like we don't feel like we should have to prove ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like you said, you know, same thing with me. I've been in this industry for a long time, and coming to Atlanta, I was this white female from another city coming here and knew a lot about the culture and totally embraced the culture. But at the same time, like some people were kind of standoffish at first until they seen that I'm not a culture vulture. Like I genuinely love this just like you.
Absolutely.
We're not doing it to get fame off of, you know, the hip hop culture.
Absolutely.
We're a part of the culture.
Absolutely. But you can understand it though, because you have so many, like, because like it is just in the industry that we're in. There's a lot of people that are in it for the quick thing, for the quick, like, whatever it comes with it.
Clout
like the
chasing.
attributes.
Yeah.
It's not, there's really people that care about it and there's really people that don't give a fuck about it.
Absolutely. And I could name a few, but I won't because I'm not giving them no shine on industry's most wanted. But you're absolutely right. There's a lot of culture vultures, a lot of clout chasers out here.
You can tell though.
Yeah, you can tell.
Because after they get in the room with you, like you see people, like when I went to the show, like you could see the people that flock to you because of what you bring to it.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not, like there's people call out fake. Like it's spades a spade. Like
nah,
that's what's
for real.
gonna be called out. So
absolutely,
everything will come to light at some point.
So who are a couple of artists not even necessarily influenced you by their sound, but just maybe by their hustle, by their grind? Who was a couple of those artists?
Oh man, I gotta bring him up because he's sitting right back there. But Nipsey, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish that I was on that train like before. Like I want to say he passed away in 2019.
2019, I think. Yeah.
I started getting hip to him on 2018 when he started with what mixtape? He was big on that mixtape thing. I don't remember which one, but I heard a song called Mansions off of his Red album.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called, but yeah, like I started rocking with him then, and then he dropped Victory Lap, and I was like, oh my God, like
he's
this
a genius,
is like crazy. Like just from the first song, I was like, this is the wave that music's gonna start going in now, because just the way that he presented it,
yes,
everything that came with it. And then I started like watching his interviews talking about the $100 mixtape where he got people buying it for $100.
I remember that.
I'm like, man, this dude's a fucking genius.
He is
like, he's
fucking genius.
The way that he came up with everything, the way that he ran his business, the people around him, everything. And then, of course, the like the sadness about all that stuff that went down there and stuff like that. But big influence for me. Even earlier days, I would say like we were talking about like 50 Cent, like just the way that even I've always been attracted to the music of like Eminem, that type of like the grit and the way you put like your feelings into it, like all that. But like 50 Cent, from the music to the business, the way he tries to carry himself when he walks into a room, that it can be, I can still make these records, but you can still respect me as a business person when I walk in this room. So that's always kind of what I wanted to do. I never wanted to bring how people might perceive me on the mic or something like that and then feel like they have to act some certain way around me because they don't know. It's like I'm always going to treat people with respect no matter what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
So that's what it comes down to. So those people, for sure.
So with that being said, you know, I heard you say you watched a couple of Nipsey's interviews and stuff like that. As an artist on the rise, like you are, how important is it for you to study the greats and study the people who came before you?
Oh man, it's everything. It's everything. That's the only reason why anybody like these podcasts, these people that just do interviews, it's not for them at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah, they might. You see some of them, they push a single at the end of the clip for like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Like at the end of the day, you got to take in what you can from those interviews because they're speaking about what they did to get to where they did. You ain't got to follow it like verbatim, but you're supposed to figure out what worked, what didn't work, what might work for you, what might not work for you that much. It's like it makes no sense to see all that and then be like, I'm just not gonna listen to it.
Right.
Like, that just makes no sense to me. It's like, man, come on. Like you gotta also give flowers where it's due.
Absolutely. Not be out here trying to reinvent the wheel, as they say.
For sure.
If you see these people making certain moves and it worked for them, there's no reason why you can't, maybe make it your own style, but kind of mimic what they do. Now, let me ask you this. You've been doing music for a while.
Yes, ma'am.
What would you say has been the most positive change that you've seen, not even in hip hop, but just in the music industry as a whole?
music industry as a whole, I would definitely say that you can see a lot more. Like, I'm not even talking about like on TikTok and stuff like that. Like, it's a great platform to like to build off of and do that stuff. But even just in the music industry, you just see a lot of people that like, even I don't know. Like, there's people that I don't know, but I come across, and you can just look back and be like, okay, they really started with nothing. Like, not even like, not like nothing, but I'm saying like La Russell. Yeah. Like, I just watched some of his videos and stuff like that, and like, this is a dude where he's saying like, I post as much as I can every day. If you got time to watch content, you got time to make content. And that stuck with me, and I'm like, this dude, like, there's people trying to really do something, and just because it is so oversaturated in what we do, but it's always been oversaturated in any market. There's always people that are gonna come up, fall off, come back, do something. It's always gonna be there, but like I said, the real ones are always going to be shown throughout the fake. When it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. So I think it's becoming more, you could see more people flocking towards that more now than before, like where it started to get to at one point. It was like, you didn't know. Like, people were just popping up out of nowhere, and they were the biggest artists on the radio, and you're like, all right, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect what's going on over here. But it's like, now you see it, and you see a couple little more artists like might get a big song that pops off with a bigger artist. You could see some bigger artists trying to pick up like the little ones.
Absolutely. And I think that's what they need to do. You know, any artists that are either like the OG artists that, you know, maybe had their wave in the 90s or 2000s or whatever, help these independent artists, help them. Or if you're relevant now and you're out here doing your thing, it's okay to like take the hands of some of these other artists. And, you know, there's enough out here for all of us.
For sure.
There's enough out here for everybody to get to it. What do you enjoy the most about being a music artist?
Oh, man. Having a release. Just something. Like, I come in contact with so many people on a day-to-day basis. I work Amazon. So like, my day job, like, that's what I be doing to like support this shit. So I just come in contact with people that just like might A, make more money than me, B, might look like in the picture perfect eye, like doing better, but like some people just aren't happy what they're doing.
You're absolutely right.
It's like, because they didn't do what they wanted to do, they fell victim to what others might have wanted them to do, or all that. So like when I see what I'm doing, and like maybe it's not where it could be right now, and it's not where it needs to be, I just look at it and I'm like, man, like at least I like it. Like at least I love what I'm doing right now. Like it's hard to when you like when you go to pay something and you don't have the money to pay for it, but like that fucking card swipes and it says decline, you're like, shit, like maybe I should do something else. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, even if I wanted to, I couldn't. If I wanted to do something different, this shit would just find me again. Yeah,
it's your passion.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I can't not do it.
Absolutely. So with that being said, you know, music is your passion.
Absolutely.
Undeniably. What would you say through music is your purpose?
Oh, man, just to be that next voice. I always thought I had to be the voice. It's just to be that next one, like to be the next one that might help that other person that wasn't able to reach somebody. Like all those artists that we speak on and stuff like that. Like somebody was very devoted and was committed to listening to them and what they had to offer. Somebody's got to pick it up after that message goes dry or after something else. Somebody's got to be the next person to uplift the next person. And that's all I'm trying to be with the music that I make, is just be that next person that might say something that inspires you, might do something that makes you feel like you can do it as well. And whether where I'm at in the journey or whatever, it just to be that next person.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, like you said, it's a release. It's an outlet for you to whatever you got on your heart, on your chest, on your mind, put it into your music.
Absolutely.
Do you write all of your music, or do you get in the studio and freestyle sometimes? How does your music come together?
It goes back and forth. Like I like freestyling up to a certain point.
Yeah.
I gotta, if I can't, the way I feel the beat is if I'm sitting there and I'm like bobbing my head to it, I start saying a couple things. I like how it sounds. I feel like I have this thing that, like, I don't know what it is, like if it's like ADHD or something like that, but I just feel like some people's voices mix better with certain like beats and stuff like that.
I agree.
Like, there's just sometimes, and I feel like I know when I can add something to it, or I'm gonna take something away from it. Like if I feel like I'm bringing down the beat, or something like that. Like somebody sends me a fire beat and I'm like, oh, this is great. And I feel like when I go on it, I don't feel like I can do it justice at the point I'm at. It's like, okay, then that one's not for me right now.
Understood.
So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, like it'll come to you when you need to. When I sit there, I'll be like, all right, this is I'm feeling this type of flow works on that. Let me see what I can do with it.
Absolutely. I agree. And I love the fact that you understand that because, you know, some people will just try to go off of anything or any type of beat. And it's like you said, your style, the way you deliver your music may not necessarily match this beat, but it's going to match this one over here. But they got to understand that.
For sure. It's dark. Sometimes you can be like, oh man, nothing's hitting today. Like sometimes I'll be in the studio and be like, nothing is connecting with me today. Like, last song I've ever made was November. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people get in that headspace and it's like, you know, like when it's meant to be there, it's meant to be there.
You don't want to force it ever.
No, because then it's just, you could tell.
Yeah.
Everybody who listens to it is going to be like, ah.
Yeah, and you are going to go back and listen to it like, nah, I could tell that was forced. Go ahead and trash it, you know?
It's like listening to like later rappers, like when you like really liked them when they started.
Yeah.
It's like you can tell that when it got to a certain point that they're just forcing it. They're just trying to be what they could been. Or what they could have been or what they were. And you're just
yes, exactly. Absolutely. You know, you got a lot of people that are around you, supporting you, loving on you. Yeah. Like, besides that, what's keeping you so motivated to keep going with music? Besides it being your passion as well.
Yeah. So motivated. I think it's just the not knowing of what could happen.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It's like, you know, because like I'm one of those people that like I dropped out of school when I was a sophomore.
Yeah,
it just
wasn't for you.
Wasn't for me.
Understood.
But it was one of the, like, obviously, like I moved so much that I was just like, I can't do it. Like I want to go to another school.
Understood.
Like, I can't do this. But it was just like I can't do the systematic thing every day. Like you can't, I don't want to know exactly what I'm going to do today.
You and I are the same on that.
I can't. Like even like working Amazon, like they be like, you got to take your 30-minute lunch from this time to this time.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. Like I'm going to push it a little bit and see if you get upset and then I'll go back. Like maybe, I don't know. Like it's one of those things. So it's like, I like the not knowing factor. Like even with coming up here to Atlanta to go to that first show, like I didn't know anybody that was going to come up there.
Yeah.
But it was the not knowing where I was like, I don't know who's going to be there, who I'm going to meet, who might like what I do, who might not like what I do. But it's like, oh, that's so much more exciting than being like, I know everybody that's going to be there. That's
it's like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah. It makes it less boring. Life is boring when you know exactly what you're going to do.
I agree. Like I'm with you 110% on that. Like I'm the type of person that like I started college, but I did not finish because I'm like, anything that's super repetitive is not for me.
For sure.
You know, like you said, I like that not knowing. I like waking up every day and being able to create my own day.
For sure.
You know, that's what makes being an entrepreneur. And it took me a while to get there.
Yeah.
I was in my 30s before I was able to leave the workforce and, you know, do this full time. But I was like, that's what I enjoy about it the most. Like you said, just every day is like a Christmas for us. It's like new stuff. Real. It's a new adventure.
For real. It's so cool. And I'm sure what you do, you get to meet so many different people that come up that are either have been here or are just starting out here. It's like you get to be that fourth wall breakdown where you're like, if you're coming to Atlanta, you got to meet with her because she's going to know how to break it down for you. She's going to be able to talk to you. And you could tell, like, just the way you talk and everything like that. You're like, this, I've been through it, like you were talking about, knowing, giving flowers where they're due. It's like, you know, you could tell that you've been in different positions of this and you got the knowledge and the advice and the love to give.
Absolutely. And we're in an era now where I don't ever push for people not to go to school. But we are in an era that if you don't, there's so much knowledge on the internet now, watching YouTube videos, taking online courses it's like slick. You could pretty much learn to do anything just by watching YouTube videos or, like I said, taking online courses and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't never throw shade at people because I didn't graduate college. I barely started and said, no, this ain't for me. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Type thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't judge someone based upon that.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you're pursuing what you want to do.
Thank you.
Not letting anybody or anything hold you back.
For sure.
Shout out to H, man. Like, that's the homie. No, I know you're connected with him. Are you a part of Loud on 7th, the event?
I am.
So talk to us about it.
Yeah, that's super exciting. When when I started, like when I first got in contact with H, I was living just a little bit further outside the city, so I wasn't really pulling up there that much. I was just really working on like the music part of stuff, like trying to make stuff. When I went to do shows, I was like, I just wanted to sound like this when I get there.
Yeah.
So like working on like the way the bass sounds and stuff like that. So like just trying to like really hone in on that. So when I started going more often down to the Crowbar over in the Ybor and stuff like that.
Been there plenty of times.
Yeah. Remember some of the nights. but yeah, it was one of those things where it was I started just getting more connected with him. I seen some of the videos and some of the posts that he did from last year. I got real connected with my boy Demo that's over there. He does like really good shows. He's got such great energy out there. But he did it the year before that. And I was like, yo, tell me about this Loud on 7 thing. Cause like I trusted H, but I was like, just let me know, like artist wise, like, is it something that's worth it to go do? And he was like, yeah, dude, it's definitely worth it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take your word for it. I was like, H is promoting it. You got people that pulling up that coming from, like you were saying, like people coming from different cities and stuff like that. I was like, man, let's just do it. Like I might as well. So, I got that, so I'm trying to do that this week. I got that coming up, like interview on the 5th, and then the 7th I have a show at the Crowbar, and then the 9th on that Saturday I got a show at the Crowbar too. But I'm just super excited just to meet all the different people that coming out of state and stuff like that, and you know, just do my thing up there.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you're connected with the right people. You know, when I was in Tampa and I was, you know, really like starting out with the events and stuff like that, H was one of the first people I connected with.
For sure.
I love you, bro. That's my homie. That's my brother for life. He calls me his industry mom. You know, he calls me moms. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just to have people like that in your corner that are so genuine and passionate as you is important. So I'm glad that you and he are connected.
He's a very welcoming person.
He is. He is absolutely.
The lady that I met over there, Muneka, she does the like empanadas and stuff out in the back. She do cooking,
dope,
and, I got to talking with her. And we were taking shots. The first time I went to Crowbar, we were taking shots over there. I'm getting drunk as fuck before the show. I'm like, damn, I took way too many just to be like my first show here. They're gonna be like, man, this kid is fucked up.
He
on
off
stage.
the chain with it.
Oh man. So I was talking to her, and she was like, you gotta talk to H. And I was like, I already knew H, but I hit him up as like a promoter artist type thing, where it was like, he was like, this is what it costs to do it. Come up here. And I was like, cool. Like I'm gonna pull up. And she was like, you got to go over there and like talk to him. She introduced me to him and stuff like that. And he was just a very welcoming person, very wholesome. He's about what he's about. He's about his business. And but he's always willing to lend a hand back to try and help somebody. And you could tell just by his page, by everything.
Super genuine. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So tell everybody, what is the current single that you're pushing right now? Like, which one are you behind the most?
The current signal. Oh, man. I mean, I got a mixtape that I put out. I want to say like a couple months ago. It was like 4 months ago. It's called The Art Show.
Okay.
And anything on that, but I try and post. Right now, I'm on this little kick. I'm trying to post a song every week.
Yeah.
For the next couple weeks, just to I got some other stuff cooking up that I'm trying to like drop something else, like a project. But for right now, I'm just posting them songs every week, just trying to gain the little bit of traction and stuff like that, because you know all these different algorithms and shit like that you got to deal with on a daily basis.
You have to stay
crazy.
consistent. I know.
Oh, I know. I felt like years ago you could post one time a day, one time a week, one time a month,
and get like
the same
a ton
shit.
of likes. And
now you post at the wrong time.
Right.
At 2 p.m. and they're like, nobody saw it. Nobody's looking. Fucking, if you would have did it at 3:30, everybody would have saw it. I'm like, man, when did everybody start going on at the same fucking time?
Right.
Don't lie to me. Fucking crazy.
It is insane. And, you know, I think Instagram, they control all those algorithms.
Absolutely.
They control it
man?
Because you know what it is. They want us to spend money on ads with them. They want us to boost all of our posts. And honestly, that's what I've started doing, because it's like you said, our engagement was becoming so suppressed that it's like, okay, now we're forced. But it's like, I don't mind, because I make a lot of money off of Instagram.
For sure.
So I'm like, okay, if I got to put a little bit money back in every month, then it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's why you got to come do stuff like this, because you need the content to post on your social media.
Absolutely. I was so excited to do this because like I post so much music and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's like there's like, as much as I feel like I give myself to the music, there's only so much that people register. on the lyrics part. Like
100%.
you could read me a 50 Cent lyric, you could read me anybody's lyric, and I'd be like, oh, he said that?
Yeah.
I might have just like not heard that time. And that could be some real shit that he was like really trying to put out there. And it's like, okay, well, if you watch the interview, you got the whole point. Like you can rewind it, do this, but he ain't nothing to suppress what he's saying. Like you're just gonna hear it, what he's got to say. So it's
absolutely,
it's one of those things.
So let me ask you this: for all the people that are, supporting you, maybe their friends, their family, they're fans of yours, tell us something that they don't know about you.
Oh man,
dive in real quick.
Something they don't know. Oh man, contrary to like what I try and put out on music, I think I suck. Like half the time when I be making music,
really?
Like, oh man, sometimes it just be like you be in that stage where you're just like, oh man, I could be so much better right now if I just worked 12 more hours today. Like if I know it's already fucking 2 a.m., but like if I just work these next 12 hours, I'll be better than they ever thought. But it's like those moments where people think like, oh, you're working so hard on something, you must think that you're like great.
Yes.
You must think that you're like the shit to be doing all that for that long. And I'm like, no man, like I feel like I'm not that great. So I be trying to get better every day with what I can. So like I would definitely say that the people that think, man, I really be thinking that it's hard sometimes. I'm like, man,
we're self-critics.
Yeah.
We beat ourselves up.
It's so easy to.
Yeah.
When you're in a creative space, it's so easy to feel like whatever you just did will never amount to the next thing, and like whatever you just thought you were gonna be got slowed down. Like, especially like we were talking about the algorithms. It's like if you base it off of numbers, it's like that song was a great song, might have not done well numberly because it didn't get promoted the way it needed to be, didn't get addressed. And you're like, that was a flop. I'll never make a song like that again. That sucked. And you can't do that because you start fighting things that don't even matter.
That are out of your control.
You're just sitting there just playing, like fighting your shadow. You're just like, it's always
shadow boxing.
It's always a step ahead of me. It's like, man, you can't do that. You just got to be in your own world. And that gets hard sometimes because the world just wants to bring you out of it. They just want you to be out of that. They want you to be out of the space where you feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. They want to bring you out of it.
Absolutely.
So,
do you have other things that you desire to do, or maybe you're already doing, like maybe getting into film or getting into having your own merch? Is there stuff that you're working on or desire to work on at some point?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. I would say obviously merch. Like, I mean, I've done other T-shirts.
Yeah.
This does just say Exile.
I love it though.
There's nothing on the back or anything, but I would love to do more merch, like really get into it. But stuff like that. But I do like I like conversations, like stuff like this.
Yeah.
I like having a conversation with you. I feel like feeding off of somebody else's energy in live time is so much different than just like, I love entrepreneurship, just trying to do something, work towards something, like all that stuff. But just the conversation piece, like I love talking to people. So more stuff aimed towards that, like whether it's doing like my own type of thing, just having people come over to the crib and just having conversations and stuff like that. But
maybe you should start your own podcast.
Oh man, I'm just gonna book you every week.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm with it.
I'll be broke, but
let's build together. That would be dope. Absolutely. And that's what because me too, I love to talk to people and I love feeding on people's energy. And I think that's what I love so much about this right here. Most definitely to the point where now I do this full time. You know what I'm saying? So most definitely. Before we get up out of here, drop a gem on them. Like, any new artists out there that are on the rise, maybe something you've experienced and you push through, drop a gem on them real quick.
Okay. Man, drop a gem. All right. Well, I would really just say to everybody that's trying to do something to really stop giving your time to the bullshit that they want you to. So quit giving that time that you feel like you should be giving to yourself. Quit giving it away to bullshit. Yeah. You're going to have people, you're going to have jobs, you're going to have family members that you might not be that close with. You're going to have a bunch of different things coming from every direction that want you to stop doing what you're doing. And it's just you got to push through it. You can't let that bullshit get in the way. Yeah. No matter what it is. I don't care if you're just trying to make jewelry out of your garage and stuff like that. That shit is still important if you want to do it. So really just go for it, work for it, and the sky's the limit at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And I love that because oftentimes people need to be reminded of exactly what you just said. It's like we should know that stuff, but a lot of times we need reminders of it.
Because people put that this thing above you all the time. They're just like, here's what you have to get to.
Yeah.
If you don't get to it, then I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, like maybe that thing that you want me to do isn't what I really feel is needed.
It's not for you.
So it's one of those things where you just can't let it happen to you. You got to work for it.
Yes.
You can't just be there and just take everything that life gives you and you're like, like I just was dealt a hard hand. And it's like, man, sometimes you just got to take them cards back and just deal them your fucking self next time.
100%.
I don't need a dealer.
It's your journey.
Absolutely.
It's your journey, and everybody's journey is different.
Absolutely.
So what works for one definitely may not work for you or vice versa.
For sure.
So it's, I love the fact that you got such a level head.
Thank you.
Like you really, really have such a level head. And that's important in this business because people who either get ahead of themselves or they're just lost, they're the ones that get taken advantage of.
For sure.
Then they're the ones that are bitching and complaining, talking about everybody's out here scamming. And no, not everybody is out here scamming. You just didn't do your due diligence and work with the right people.
Absolutely.
Or your head's in a cloud somewhere and
Absolutely.
It's a lesson learned.
I spent $600 this one time. This is a funny story just to say it. I spent $600 to this dude that I think I was 19. $600. $600 at 19.
That's a lot of money. $600 today at any age is a lot of money. Like,
for sure.
Unless you got Diddy money, it's a lot.
For sure. But man, I spent $600. This dude, he was like, listen, I work for this company. We're gonna promote, and immediately I was like, red flag. But okay, let's keep going. Let's see where it goes. Like I'm 19. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what I do. I work for this place. And this is my credentials and everything like that. It sends me like a LinkedIn profile. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Must be real. I sent that dude $600 on Venmo. Venmo was like, yeah, we can't do that. Like, stop the thing. I'm like, well, I'm trying to send it to him. I'm trying to cash app it to him. I'm trying to do everything. And life's like, dude, do not send this dude $600. I'm like, I got to figure out how to send this dude $600.
Yeah.
It says it's sent. The dude's like, I didn't get it. And I was like, oh, man, it's a scam. It's a scam already.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, oh, man. Venmo stops the transaction already, sends it back to me. And I was like, can't do it. Can't do it anymore. I was like, I'm not sending any amount with all that. 2 weeks later, the profile's gone. I'm like, oh, man.
See?
Fucking blessing. Thank you.
God intervened for a reason. Because like you said, $600 is a lot. And
it's like, when you use Cash App, it don't feel like it's leaving your hand as quick. Like if it was cash and he was like, I'll take it.
100%.
But watching it go on Cash App, you're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll eat more ramen this week.
Right.
I'll bite the bullet for it. But I was like, man, thank God. I was like, I'm never doing that again.
Absolutely.
Trying to do that, you got to, like you said, do your due diligence.
Yeah. And that right there, what you just said is a gem that you dropped. Honestly, really, because man, it hurts my soul and my heart when I see independent artists get taken advantage of. Like people will take money from them and then they end up blocking them and they can't get their money back. It's frustrating. So it's like I always encourage every artist, before you spend a dime with anybody, do your research. Like I had a dude earlier today, he pulled, because we never met before. He just started following me on Instagram, like literally. He pulled up here to Cash App me for an interview because he wanted to meet me because like he wasn't real familiar with what I got going on. Yeah. And I was like, cool, pull up. And then once he got here, he's like, oh man, this is dope. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to make sure his interview's not till Monday, but he wanted to come by just to send me the Cash App. I was like,
that dude's been hurt.
Yeah, he's been.
You could
tell he's been taken advantage of.
Oh, for sure. But it's hard though. It's so hard. But like you said, like you really just got to do your research.
Yes.
It be happening everywhere. But you can't hold a chip on your shoulder. You can't just sit there and be like, I don't fuck with nobody because who knows? Because it's like, you're not going to get anywhere.
Exactly.
You hate on everybody and tell everybody that they suck and you're just trying to scam me. It's like nobody going to work with you because they think you're a fucking weirdo every time somebody hits you up.
Exactly. And I deal with that. People come and they'll ask me a bazillion questions. I'm like, bro, just go do your research on me and come back, because otherwise, like, I start to get a little frustrated because I'm like, you're taking it out on me because someone else screwed you over.
You seen that thing like where like the girl's like, yo, like, are you home right now? And he's like, yeah, I'm home. She's like, all right, take a picture with a spoon on your head. And he's like, all right. And she's like, yeah, you could have took that yesterday. It's like, come on, like I'm not trying to sit here and go back and forth with you on this. Either you believe me or you don't.
Exactly.
But I got nothing to sit here and just do this with.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I'm not gonna sit here and go back
So frustrating. That's funny.
Oh, it's crazy.
Tell everybody where they can follow you at on all your socials.
All my socials right now, I'm mostly on. I be posting on TikTok and stuff like that. I be posting on Instagram under Exile, XILE official, and really YouTube. That's just Exile again, and everything like on Apple Music, Spotify. I even got some stuff like if you want to hear a song before I even drop it. SoundCloud, because that's just so easy to just put up and load. You ain't gotta wait 3 days from Apple Music and all that stuff. But yeah, those are mostly the places that I be on for that stuff.
Dope.
I was gonna ask you a question.
Yeah,
real quick.
of course.
What's the like in your industry? What's the craziest thing that you've been through trying to come up in this?
I would say, gosh, you got me.
That's a hard question.
It is a hard question. When I first moved to Atlanta, it was very, very different than being in Tampa. Like I had to readjust how I move. I had to readjust my pricing structure. Yeah. And I even got a little bit taken advantage of because what I didn't realize was in Tampa, typically when you rent a venue, you have to pay to rent that venue. Yeah. That's just the way the structure is out there. Yeah. Here in Atlanta, most of the venue owners don't charge you to rent the venue. They just want... They keep the bar, you keep the door. Yeah. Well, one of the venues that I first went to, he was charging me to rent the venue. And I found out later on that he was just like getting over on me because they don't really. And I was like, so it's just trial and error, going into new places, learning how they do stuff. I should have did my due diligence a little bit more. Yeah. Then I wouldn't have been paying this guy $300 a night to use his venue when I could have probably went next door and got it for free. For sure. You know what I'm saying? And just, really, this is what I do with. I'm like an OG, you guys. I'm 49 years old. Like I'm the industry mama. And I get tried so much by these youngins. Like my son is 29 years old, right? Yeah. And I get these young artists that are like 22, 23 that really be trying to push up on me. I'm thinking, do you really think at my age that I'm going to give you the time of day? And it's like, I feel like some of them feel like that they have to try to finesse me to get close to me.
Motherfucker, you ain't got to do all this.
Yeah. If anything, it turns me off. For sure. It like pushes, it like makes me not want to deal with them because it becomes awkward and uncomfortable. For sure. So that's definitely something that I deal with. They be trying and I'm just like, bruh, just get to the business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure. That's got to be like definitely just being like a woman in the industry. I'm sure. I
deal with it. Trust me. And I'm like, I'm not even one of these young little Instagram models, and they be trying me so hard. So I'm like, I can only imagine what some of these other women deal with. So my thing to the ladies out here, just stand your ground and be about your business. Sure. It's easy to get sucked into this industry as a woman.
For sure. I be feeling like, so like with like all the like upcoming artists, there's a lot of female hip hop artists right now, and it's so cool because like you just see it, and there's so much talent in what they're doing and stuff like that. It's just like it's one of those things like where like maybe back in the day it was more skewed towards like making the male rappers personify themselves 100%. And I just don't I don't want that to be where like the women like hip hop artists feel like they have to stand in. Yeah. It's like you don't always have to go towards what they're trying to push you into.
Absolutely.
Everybody's gonna try and push you into what they feel would work and what they think might work for you. And it's like, I see a bunch of artists. There's people in the city that are doing it. You got great female singers. You got a lot of people that pulled up to the show were great female artists. Yeah. And it's like, just stay like what you like doing, just do that.
Be true to yourself.
Don't make that a big thing for you to feel like you have to be whatever is selling right now.
Absolutely. Putting on a facade is like a full-time job. Oh my God. Like I don't want to have to walk around every day pretending like I'm something I'm not.
I mean, working customer service, can you imagine doing that for every day of your life?
No.
As soon as you're on camera, you have to be like, yep, like this is what I have to do now.
Right, man. Exactly. Absolutely. I would get anxiety if I had to do certain things,
I'd be flipping off everybody. Like customers, like when they come in the thing, it's like as soon as they turn around, I'm like, man, fuck this job, fuck that person. saying? But like doing that every day, like willingly, like, oh man, like I gotta just sit here and do this because this is what I went with. It's like, man, you would have been so much better off just doing what you did.
That is so funny. Absolutely. We do. Hey, trust me, we be cussing y'all out behind your back. I talk to myself when I'm driving the most. Like I be in the car cussing everybody out and having conversations with myself.
Oh man, being from Massachusetts and coming from Tampa, oh man, I got the whole fucking thing. I got the angry driving in the car. Like like you said, I be cussing everybody out, and I drive like I'm from Tampa.
Yeah.
So I be driving like fast as fuck, pissed at other people.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man. So I be trying to calm myself down in the car. I'm like, listen, like.
That's what I do. That's my time for woosah. You know, put a little calming music
Put on that meditation music.
Absolutely.
Driving up here in Atlanta, man, people just start cutting you off. And
oh
stuff
my
like that.
gosh!
Like, it's all right, you know. You just gotta play that little instrumental beat and just relax for a second.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Anybody you want to show some love to?
Oh man. I mean, all the artists up in down in Tampa, like you got people like Demolition Man, Haifa, really great artist. I even this kid that did poetry up there, this kid named Jay Finesse.
Yeah.
Really great artist. H, absolutely, for even just giving platforms. Couple dudes in Massachusetts, my dude Q Breath, he's a really great artist. He's really big into just making really strong art and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, all those people, but also really, really great thanks to you.
Of course.
For absolutely lending the microphone
100%.
to be able to let me do this. So I really, really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And shout out to yourself.
Thank you.
Because you're dope. You're just a dope person.
I appreciate it.
You got good energy. Great music. Like when you performed, I knew at that moment, I was like, I'm giving him an interview. Like there was no thought about it. Like I didn't go at the end and be like, well, no, I knew when you were on that stage and you were performing, I liked how you switched up your flow throughout the song. I look for elements like that. So shout out to you, man, for just being dope all the way around.
I appreciate it.
Last but not least, we're live right here. Industry's most wanted. Exile in the building. Go ahead and tell everybody what makes you the industry's most wanted.
Oh man, everything from A to Z. I just be trying to do everything that I can for the people around me, the circle that I hold close, the people that I come in contact with, and the fans that support me from the shit that I really thought was going good. But now that I got even better, it's one of those things that I'm willing to sacrifice what I got to do to make this thing work for the people that support me, love me, and trying to uplift me in this. So,
yeah, let me write down on the times that I was sitting in the way back. I wasn't talking to nobody. I was just eating my lunch in the library. Take out the bag and I'm hoping the quietly got in my face, and it's not for the modesty. Check that dichotomy. I went from no one beside me to no one can do this beside me. Taking everybody to the grave. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what I gotta give up to be great. Motherfucker, this life is a buffet. We just here for the drinks, you run gang. I'm just trying to do me.